You're a podcast listener, and this is a podcast ad. Reach great listeners like yourself with podcast advertising from Lips and Ads. Choose from hundreds of top podcasts offering host endorsements, or run a reproduced ad like this one across thousands of shows to reach your target audience with Lips and Ads. Go to lipsandads.com now. That's LIBSYN ads.com.
It's Friday, May 17th, 2024, and this is the Washington Times front page. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. The Supreme Court has upheld the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau's power to set its budget, ruling that Congress has broad powers to delegate its spending power to federal agencies. In a 7-2 decision, Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report Justice Clarence Thomas, writing for the majority, said all the Constitution requires is that Congress authorize an appropriation or expense. It doesn't dictate how or how often it must do so. Opponents argued the structure violated Congress's power of the purse, one of its core duties under the Constitution. Rather than receiving allocations from Congress, the CFPB gets its money from the Federal Reserve. The House Judiciary Committee has voted to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt of Congress for refusing to turn over audio recordings of Special Counsel Robert Hur's interviews with President Biden over his mishandling of classified documents. Susan Friuccio reports the Republican-led panel voted 18-15 to hold Garland in contempt. The president asserted executive privilege over the tapes that Hur used during his 2-day interview in October over his mishandling of classified documents. Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan said the president's last-minute executive privilege assertion underscores the recording's unique perspective and that the panel wants to review them to determine whether Biden received favorable treatment by the Justice Department. Attorneys for former President Trump sought to destroy the credibility of his former fixer, Michael Cohen, during continued cross-examination in Trump's hush money trial. Tom Howell reports defense attorney Todd Blanche noted Cohen's history of falsehoods and conflicting statements, including misleading Congress about his efforts to seek a pardon and claims that he felt pressured to plead guilty to tax crimes in 2018. Blanche also attacked Cohen's claim that he told Trump he was finalizing a payment of $130,000 to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Blanche is chasing one goal in the cross-examination, instilling enough doubt about Cohen to make at least some jurors unwilling to convict Trump. In a House hearing, Florida Secretary of State Cord Byrd told Congress the federal government needs to give states access to databases to remove non-citizens who are registering and casting ballots in elections. Stephen Dinan reports Byrd told the House Administration Committee the federal government has a legal obligation to provide up-to-date citizenship information to the states to help them maintain voter rolls. Republicans called the hearing to highlight what their leaders have identified as a major issue before the general election. Democrats complained about the entire tenor of the hearing, saying it was an attempt to undermine confidence in the presidential election. Maryland Republican Senate nominee Larry Hogan has thrown his support behind codifying abortion rights into federal law and embraced the pro-choice label, breaking with most of the rest of his party. Seth MacLachlan reports Hogan said he supports reviving the constitutional right to abortion that was protected under Roe v. Wade, telling the New York Times he'll continue to protect the rights of women to make their own reproductive choices. Democratic Senate nominee Angela Alsobrooks countered that Hogan is playing politics and can't be trusted on the issue. And finally, we have a look at upcoming elections in South Africa. The African National Congress, which Nelson Mandela led to victory at South Africa's first democratic vote in 1994, is polling below 50% and has intra-party divisions in Africa's fourth most populous country. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in your favorite podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.
Say goodbye to your credit card rewards. Greedy corporate mega stores, led by Walmart and Target, are pushing for a law in Congress to take away your hard-earned cash back and travel points to line their pockets. The Durbin-Marshall credit card bill would enact harmful credit card routing mandates that would end credit card rewards as we know it. If you love your credit card rewards, tell your lawmakers, hands off my rewards. Tell them to oppose the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill.